a school district superintendent who is actually apologizing for an email he sent out condemning the Hamas terror attacks. Let's get to it. Boop. All right, this is an exclusive. You're only going to hear it here on the Undivided podcast. This is also a follow-up to a story we've been sort of slowly tracking and breaking new tidbits on. So this takes us to the Bainbridge Island School District. And this school district first got on our radar when it comes to speaking out against political and social issues because it was right after the attack happened against Israel. And there was a concerned individual with ties to the district, we'll just say that, who reached out and said, hey, you know, I just got this email basically saying that teachers aren't to take a position on this when this school district has taken positions on all sorts of things. I mean, we went back and looked at emails. They've taken a position on George Floyd, you know, when the verdict came in the George Floyd trial in Minneapolis, when there's been mass shootings across the country, the superintendent of this district has sent out emails to parents and to staff. So it's not as if this is a district that has been completely hands-off when it's like, hey, hot button, political issues, gun control, whatever, social, whatever it is, like, let's just focus on education. No, this district has very much, and the superintendent of this district has very much been vocal when things come up that fit a certain agenda. So anyway, back on October 9th, so this is, 2 days after the terror attack on Israel, the equity curriculum specialist at the Bainbridge Island School District had sent out an email, and this was internal. My understanding is that this email had just gone to staff. And in it, she cautioned them against saying, she said, this is not time to argue about the politics of the Middle East. And basically said, you know, I'm not going to share my opinion or choose a side. And suggesting that teachers shouldn't either. It's not a time to argue about the politics of the Middle East. The conflict there is longstanding and complex. We all should do our best to understand this history, but this is a long process. And for the whistleblower who sent this to us, they were kind of like, it just seems odd. It seems odd that they're willing to not only take political positions on all these other things, but actively encourage teachers to talk to students about events nationally, about worldwide events that are controversial. But on this, can't take a position, can't take a side against Hamas and terrorism. So we get on the show. I think we got on October 10th, that episode. We came out and we're like, this is ridiculous. And that's the story that we told. Well, the very next day, after we raised concerns about this, the superintendent of the Bainbridge Island School District sent out an email to staff and to parents condemning the terror attack against Israel, unequivocally saying the cruel and inhumane terrorist attack carried out this past weekend by Hamas has caused deep sadness and heartbreak over the lives lost in the attack on Israel. So at the time, whether it was brought about by us criticizing the school district for suggesting that you can take positions on all these other things, but you can't take a position on the Hamas terror attack, so whether it was brought about by us shaming them and naming them, whatever, we gave this superintendent credit for whatever the reason, coming back, sending out an email a few days after it and saying, unequivocally, this is horrifying, you know, we condemn this, it's cruel and inhumane. So, well, just, you know, color me surprised when in my inbox from the same whistleblower yesterday, I got forwarded another message from that same superintendent who is now apologizing for the previous email condemning Hamas. I'm going to read this for you in full. He sent this out November 8th. Dear Bainbridge Island School District community, several weeks ago I sent a letter to our school community and expressed my sorrow over the lives lost in Israel on October 7th. The intent of the message was to provide support to members of the local Jewish community who were grieving. However, for some, especially those in the Muslim community, the message made people feel diminished and undervalued. This was not my intention. I apologize. He went on to say, I appreciate those of you who shared how my words impacted you. It was a good reminder that words have the power to both unite and divide us. As I navigate future significant events, I will strive to model for our students how to lead with inquiry, care, and compassion. As adults, children look to us for guidance. Let us demonstrate how to walk together in grace and kindness, assume each other's best intentions, and recognize we each have life experiences that provide us with our own lens in which we view the world. I'm grateful for this community and the learning opportunities it provides, including for your superintendent. Respectfully, Superintendent Peter Bang Knudsen. You have to be kidding me. You were guilted into apologizing for calling a terrorist attack cruel and humane. You were guilted into apologizing for calling a terror attack where innocent people were murdered, raped, beheaded, kidnapped, cruel and humane. Truly, is that what we've come to? If you want to get involved in these political and social issues, which again, this is the exact reason why you shouldn't, because you're always going to offend someone. Sometimes even when you call a terror attack cruel and inhumane, you're going to offend someone. So if you're not willing to take a position that is so obvious, that is so morally correct, if you're not going to be willing to defend it, then you don't do it at all. You know, condemning a terror attack by Hamas is not an insult to Muslims. To suggest it's an insult to Muslims is to suggest that all Muslims are Hamas, which is insane. This is one of the wildest things I've seen come out of a school district. The fact that this superintendent would feel compelled, whatever shame he endured between when he sent this out on October 9th to when he apologized a month later on November 8th, whatever shame he endured or pressure, it is not justification for walking back what is the morally correct position to take. This is really wild stuff. So some advice that I have for Bainbridge Island School Superintendent Peter Bang Knudsen: stay out of everything. Focus on education. Focus on educating kids, because this political and social stuff, you suck at it.